Taliban captured 4,000 Humvees in the last month alone, report.
Here's a summary of the article.
Kabul, Afghanistan. The Taliban have showed off containers full of weapons and military hardware seized from the Afghan military as American forces withdraw from the country and the militants march across the country. At the same time, many military outposts have been surrendered without a fight, allowing the Taliban to seize weapons, according to multiple Afghan military and government sources. Sky News filmed fighters carrying new weapons seized from the base, where a white flag signifying the Taliban takeover was flying. Walking around wooden boxes full of munitions, some still wrapped in plastic and styrofoam. Taliban commander Mutmin Esanullah told Alex Crawford of Sky News that the seizure had won them a slew of new weapons that could be used on the battlefield. The Taliban resurgence is growing after months of largely fruitless peace talks between the military group and the Afghan government. The U.S. is still working on agreements to base counter-terrorism forces in the region and evacuate Afghan interpreters who could face retribution from the Taliban. In Kabul, just an hour's drive from the seized base in Wardak, a senior Afghan commander pledged to recapture the territories lost to the Taliban.
This post received a score of 2,900, with an upvote ratio of 86%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Where in the article does it say 4,000 Humvees are captured?
No joke. Maybe UP didn't take the time to read it?
UP and roughly 95% of commenters. This comment section is insane, no one reads.
9% of computers are insane.
So, the idea is to bankrupt the Taliban through repair costs.
And fuel. If they get a Costco membership, they get a deal on gas.
It needs to be one of the Costcos that has a diesel pump though.
Greater than the weaponry includes 900 guns, 30 light tactical vehicles and 20 army pickup trucks, so not 4,000 HMMWVs.
UP just casually lying for literally no reason.
Give it a month, they'll have 0 operating Humvees.
The Cubans were pretty clever.
The Cubans are overwhelmingly literate with an appreciation for science instead of being mostly illiterates embracing a delusional nostalgia for the early days of Islam.
As an entity, they're not as dumb as you're led to believe they are. Granted, they ain't gonna split the atom anytime soon, but they are more than able to make repairs and acquire replacement parts if they want to.
I bet the shops in Pakistan that can make any handgun from scratch can also make custom car parts.
You are seriously underestimating how fucking terrible the Humvee is. It took most of the might of the US Army to keep its fleet of Humvees running. A pistol is fairly simple mechanically when compared to a car.
Humvees have proven themselves to be extremely unreliable due to mechanical problems and how little armor the vehicle has.
It didn't have armor because it was never meant to be an armored fighting vehicle. It's like saying the World War II Jeep sucked because it couldn't take a Panzerfaust.
The Humvee actually received upgrades to its design following the US involvement in Mogadishu so that it could be lightly armored. The armor was actually quite effective at blocking small arms fire and could even survive some explosions if it hit the sides just right. The armor was even modular so it could be removed if it wasn't needed, leaving a more powerful engine and stronger suspension in a lighter car. The Humvee was actually fairly popular until IEDs became more commonplace in the Mid-O. It was these upgrades to improve IED survivability that ruined the vehicle.
That's my point. The Humvees we drove in Germany were unarmored and fantastic to drive off-road. Learning to drive these heavy armored poses off-road in Iraq took a lot of adjustment. Don't get me started about the MRAPS. We had to crawl in those to avoid busting the suspension while off-road, which we avoided like the plague. Fortunately by then I was an NCO and didn't have to drive.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.